Whenever you see a situation where people's capacity are abrogated, where they are not attaining to their capacity, know that that is a clear description of the oppression of Tohu Vabohu. Whenever you see the reign of wickedness, whenever you see rulership that is irresponsive and irresponsible, that smites the people with continual stroke. Look at the nation of Nigeria, for instance. How can a nation like Nigeria live in poverty when God has made it so rich and a few people, not more than 100, are stealing billions of dollars? It's wickedness. So whenever you see the staff of wickedness in the hand of rulers, know that that is the operation of he who was behind Tohu Vabohu. Whenever you see the ruling of nations in anger, whenever you see the persecution of the righteous, and it seems as if no one can do anything about it, that is Tohu Vabohu in operation. And who is it? Verse 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? This is what happened between Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 and Genesis chapter 1 verse 2. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into the heavens. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the side of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. That is what created Tohu Vabohu. That's what created Genesis chapter 1 verse 2. Because according to the scriptures, said he will bring him down into hell, and he will put him on the side of a pit, and people will narrowly look upon him and consider him and say, is this the man the earth that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof? Now look at verse 17. And open not the house of his prisoners. So the devil has a lot of people that he has held bondage. He has held bondage. And it didn't just begin to happen. And I don't want to go into extensive detail in looking at that aspect of the scriptures. I just want to explain it. Who are the people held bondage that you know about in your community? Do you understand me? Who are they? Where are they? I want you to think about it and ask yourself, how can we be God's agent to liberate them? For some, it is liberation through knowledge. Thou shalt know the truth, and the truth shall do what? Set you free. For some, it is liberation through deliverance. And the very act of counseling is a knowledge delivery process. So in counseling, we push people to know God. That's all we do. So we see that the roots of oppression that surround us is not in, I don't know whether you've listened to people, oh, my mother did this. They will tell you to blame your mother or blame your father or blame somebody. And you will hear those stories when we come to theories of counseling, when we teach on theories of counseling. No, no, those are symptoms. Those are not root causes. The root cause is tohu vabohu. The root of oppression, the root of pain is what it is. People, I mean, the tendency of people to align with the position of a person who made the heart form void and without form. I don't know whether this has any meaning to you, God's good people. So Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 was as a result of a tectonic shift that defines our world up to today. A tectonic shift that defines our world up till today. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, Tohu Vabohu arose out of the Luciferic rebellion and the subsequent Luciferic flood. Please believe me, there are people who laugh when we say things like this, but they can laugh all they want. Let them show us another option from the scriptures. I don't know whether that makes sense to you. I'm not saying don't laugh, So when we are really thinking about the problems of the waters, about the problems of our world, when we are really thinking about the situation of the people that surround us, it is the move of the Spirit of God that can resolve the issues of the waters that covers the earth. I didn't go today to explain to you how when Lucifer was cast out from the presence of the Father, the Bible says, according to the book of Revelation, he came down and he released water out of his mouth. And it is that water that covers the earth in Genesis chapter 1 verse 2. I have a teaching that I do on the destiny of the waters. You see, because put yourself in the position of the water. You are now forced to do the job that you didn't sign up for. But I wouldn't go into that. Just understand basic information. Forgive me. Just understand this basic information. When we align ourselves with the position of a proud one, the world that surrounds such a person would experience tohu vabohu. Whenever you align yourself with the position of a proud one, the world that surrounds you will experience tohu vabohu. So a life of meaning is totally dependent on the partnership between heaven and earth. A life of meaning is totally dependent on a partnership between heaven and earth. But in the deep wisdom of God, He allows the earth to experience Luciferic challenge. Who am I to question Him? He allows the earth to experience Luciferic challenge. So let's get it right. God did not create the earth or the lives of the people to be void. He did enjoy it. And God is at work today to undo every void and to fill every emptiness.